Welcome to another video. So me being in isolation for 5 years, I think makes me a certified hermit or a hikikomori. For those of you who don't know what a hikikomori is, it's a Japanese word meant to describe people, especially adults, who isolate themselves for more than 6 months, and they are mainly supported by their financially by their parents. So during this past 5 years, I've learned a lot. So here are some things that I've learned. The first thing is that I don't need much to be content. Sort of become a minimalist when you go into isolation. First, because you cannot afford to get that new shiny object that you saw advertised online or on TV, because you don't have any money. Or even if you do, it's not that much that you could afford to spend it on those things, because as I said, you're supported by your parents. You're dependent financially on them. So that forces you to live frugally and learn that lifestyle. And it's not a bad thing. Henry David Thoreau, in his book Walden, explained this, or rather depicted this kind of lifestyle. He himself went near a pond and built a wooden hut. So he grew his own food, and he had only a couple of things like pen and paper and something else to occupy his mind with. And that was it. He spent 2 years there and he was happy, and he recorded all the days that he spent there. Not all the days, but his experiences. And that he himself, I think, said that wealth is the ability to fully experience life. So he was not against wealth. And this is the same case with me. I'm not against wealth. But it's a good thing that I've been forced to live this way, because maybe in the future I'll be in a situation, and I hope not, that I'll have to be frugal. And that's when this sort of lifestyle helps you. And I only have three pair of pants and a couple of shirts, but the last time I set foot inside a store to buy an apparel was, I think, 4 years ago. And look at this coat. I bought this 5 years ago, I think. It's old as fuck, but it's fulfilling its job. I mean, I have a spare one, but I don't need to use that, because this one's fulfilling its purpose. It keeps me warm. The second thing that I learned while being in isolation in a hikikomori was that I started to appreciate people more. It's like that scarcity thing. If there's something in abundance, you tend to take it for granted. And the example lies in other things too. If something is rare and scarce, then you tend to view it as something prestigious, something that you need to have a high esteem of. That's the same case with being a hikikomori, that when you're alone all the time, you don't take human contact and company for granted. It's a wonderful feeling when you get to hang out with some of your old friends and chat and just having fun and chilling. That's like being rejuvenated after years of being in isolation. Some of the wicked and mean people that I've ever witnessed in life were those who were always surrounded with other people and their acquaintances. So I think being away from people makes you realize that you should appreciate them more, because you don't know when you're going to fall into that phase of loneliness again. The third thing that I realized was that idleness is a curse and a blessing, but I'll talk about the curse in another video. But it's a blessing because you have a lot of time in your hand to basically invest in whatever your passion is. You can learn a lot of technical skills. I, for example, learned a lot. I learned how to make videos. I learned video editing, of course, and I learned writing. And it might not seem much making videos, but trust me, if you sit down in front of a camera and you have something to say, all those things will just flee away from you. Your mind will go blank. And that's a skill, to sit down in front of a camera and articulate your thoughts in the proper manner, and that takes practice. So it's a skill. You need to do it repetitively to learn it. And that idleness gives you the chance to try different things and learn them. It also gives you the chance to sit back and just observe everything, observe your surrounding, the people that are around you, your family members, and especially yourself. There's something about idleness that when you're doing nothing and sitting down and letting your mind be free of all the thought of doing something, then a magic happens. Something clicks inside your brain, that you see things in a different perspective. You see the reasons behind everything that you did in the past, or you're doing it, or the reason behind the actions of other people. So that's a growth for you. That idleness provides that growth for you, or rather the chance of it. So those were the things that I learned while being a Hikikomori. I might have missed a lot of points, but if you're a hermit or a Hikikomori like me, you might consider dropping a comment or sharing your experiences and what you learned while being in isolation. Anyways, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.